This time it's Digimon. You know, for the first time, I said something besides, hey guys. Anyway, this pixel effect, I've been wanting to do it for a long time, is to go through, and not so much do reviews, but just kind of my views of each Digimon season so far, and what my personal preference is. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say up front right now which ones are my favorite, because I got confused putting a video together, and but whatever. They don't go in order. But starting off, my favorite is Tamers. Then it goes Adventure. Um, After Adventure, I would say mm, it's a close tie between Saviors and Wars 2. But okay, Tamers, Adventure, Wars, the Wars series, because basically they're the same series, but just kind of they're basically Adventure One, Adventure Two, but I combined them. You know, they're a little closer tied together than Adventure One and Two were. You know, but Tamers, sorry, doing it again. Tamers, Adventure, Wars, Saviors, Two, Frontier, and then Try is just kind of in a vacuum in the center somewhere in there. I'm not really sure where to put it. You know, I like it for nostalgia reasons, and I like it because they brought the old Digimon back and made them megas, which is something I wanted as a kid because I love Hercules, Kabuterimon. But it to me it seems like a small cash grab just to get Digimon more attention, and I haven't really cared for it. You know, it's beautiful. Don't get me wrong. Every movie so far has been beautiful, but you know, honestly, they could have not made Try, and I would have been okay. You know, but that's my lineup of favorite series, and now I'm just gonna go through each and kind of talk about what I like from each one and what I hated. You know, sad to say, the first one that's gonna get slapped on is Adventure One. So you know, I liked it growing up as a kid. Is what got me into Digimon, of course, as many, you know. Only thing is, all the fans treat it, you know, as if it's the God tier series, you know, just because it was the first. But honestly, going back and watching it, it's not as good as I remember, you know, but it's decent, you know. So we're going to this as soon as it gets to the clip. You know, I'm sorry because I stuck it so far down here. But also the clips I do show are like less than 8 seconds, just because some companies are very picky with their when it comes to anime. Some companies are very picky. Digimon is one of those big ones. But anyway, Adventure One is what got most of us into Digimon. You know, I loved it growing up. I love the villains. I liked the Digimon. It was unique. It was different than Pokemon because they could actually talk. They didn't just say their name 20,000 times. You know, Pika Pika and Bulbasaur, Bulbasaur, do this, Bulbasaur. You know, and it's Pikachu, do this, Pika Pika. You know, not until we got to later series with Darkrai and Arceus that we got talking Pokemon. But anyway, it was unique, you know, and it had the hype train behind it. We got the first Digimon game. We had the movie. You know, it was awesome. Going back and watching the movie, it was actually kind of bad. It was really badly put together. I'm not sure if that was just Americans butchering the Japanese version with edits, but it was just bad, you know. But hey, we had some good songs, you know, like "Hey One Day," "You Looked at Me," and all that stuff, and um, the Digimon rap. But anyway, I like the villains like my oldest Mon. He was cool. One of my favorite scenes from season one was when they were trying to get to the real world, and he had his gates, you know, and it was closing, and they were fighting to get to it, and just before they got to it, it closed. And I was like, man, that's so awesome. That was so awesome. And then they went to Mega and they fought Venom out of Mine, and then yeah, it was Venom, and it was just sweet. And then after that, we got the Dark Masters, which was awesome. But again, Digimon One had bad pacing. You know, we thought the Dark Masters were awesome, but they literally killed each one of them in like 2 episodes. You remember Machine Dramon when they got to him? What did he do? He blew his city up, went to fight them, and lost within one episode. Even though he was a Draymon, and War Greymon is a Draymon Slayer, it was still so cheap, I wish he struggled, but no, it was literally just I sliced you like an onion, and I was sitting there like, wow, they just killed my favorite Dark Master in 2 seconds. But at least he didn't get screwed from the inside out like he did Middle Cedramon, because God, that was brutal. I mean, he literally just sawed him in half. Puppetmon, Piedmon, you know, it was a decent series, but it was nothing special. Going back and watching it, it was, nostalgia. It was good. I loved Agumon, Palmon, Angelmon. They had some good scenes in it, but it was never just anything extraordinary in the story. The Dark Masters arc was probably my favorite in the series. Let me think. It was that the Dark Masters and the Maldusmon City arc was pretty fun. Trying to find the 8 Digidestined, that was kind of fun. Besides that, the rest I didn't care for. Digimon was never that imposing of a villain, even though Angelmon blew himself up to kill him. Besides that, the movie, like I said, was butchered. It did give us Omnimon. That was awesome. Growing up as a kid, I loved Omnimon. I still love him. He's still like my favorite Digimon, or one of my favorites. But yeah, Digimon Adventure 1, if I had to rate it now, I'd give it like a 6 out of 10. Literally, I went back and watched the whole series, and I'd give it a 6 out of 10 just because it's good, but it wasn't as good as I remember growing up as a kid. Because after a while, nostalgia wears off, but it's still there to an extent. But it was a decent series. The characters were memorable. The villains were pretty cool, but the stories were just never that great. Next up, we're going to talk about my least favorite Digimon series in the world, almost, because it's down there in the list. It's way down there. Is season 2 of Digimon. Lordy, Lord, that season was pure. I hated Armored Digivolving. It was the stupidest tack on I could ever think of. Of all the things in Digimon, from fusions to DNA charging to bio merging to spiritual whatnot, it was the dumbest season to me. This picture right here screws up the whole canon, kind of, but it was so stupid. A lot of it was. The entire series was just dumb. The over the Digimon Emperor putting little rings on Digimon, controlling them, and the stories were just never fun. They were never good. And it wasn't until they got to the I forget his name, not Kabuterimon. It's I want to say his name starts with a K, but that fusion Digimon, it's like Kabuterimon's head, Greymon, Skull Greymon, that red praying mantis like beetle Digimon, I forget his name. The very first one they fought in the series. But anyway, the stories were never good. But then we got to the Dark Spires, and we got Black War Greymon. He was pretty cool. And honestly, he was the only saving grace for that series. Like, going back and watching it, Black War Greymon was the only thing in that series I liked. Everything else was just stupid. I hated Armored Digivolving. I hated Dark Emperor. I hated Vmon and his raspy little voice. He sounded like he had spit in his mouth 24/7 until he digivolved, of course. But it was just not. It was a dumb season. Honestly, I don't know if people really liked it that much. It was like the worst series out there. The intro was dumb. I don't know what the hell Kari was wearing half the time. Those pants bothered me so much. They were so baggy looking. Like, it wasn't even 90s bad. It was like, I don't know, like future, what we thought in the future bad. It's hard to explain. They were just bad. And the plot, the Digimons, God, it was so stupid. If I had to rate this series, honestly, in my opinion, just me now, don't get angry or salty, I give it a 4 out of 10. That's just me. And we're going to jump straight into season 3. One of my favorite series of Digimon. And granted, when it first was announced on Fox, and I saw it, True story. I thought it was the stupidest thing in the world. I'm like, what is this crap? Like, is this the real world? What are they? What is this? This is stupid. There's only three Digidestined. But after watching it, I fell in love with it. The stories were it was better because what it was a darker storytelling. The story was darker. You know, you actually had people in the real world literally hunting down Digimon and killing them because they thought they were a menace, even if they weren't. They were literally just deleting Digimon, which is basically, it'd be basically if you hunted somebody down and shot them. It's what they were doing. They were just killing them just because they were like, oh, you're a threat, so we're just gonna kill you. And I just loved the series. It was amazing. The dark stories, and having it toned down to just only three Digidestined kind of helped a little bit at first. They got more later on, as you can see in this picture. You know, you had his little sister, their two friends from school, that guy that had a crush on Rika, I think, and the creepy dog puppet girl. You know, but they focused on the characters more, which was better. You know, and like I said, the story was darker. We had, you know, Gilmon. You know, then their mega forms was kind of confusing because they started that whole human fusion with Digimon thing, and at first it was odd, but I got used to it. But still, you know, seeing the Digimon kill each other, and then seeing Gilmon turn into his twisted form, I thought Skull Greymon was cool for a bit. His messed up form was amazing because the way he's made, his form could literally destroy the digital world if he kept going, you know. And the whole card sliding thing, which they used a lot in the beginning, but as the series went on, they stopped using that whole card sliding. Oh, here's this extra power boost, you know. Because by the end of the series, they stopped using that a lot, you know. At first, it was like all the time. But like I said, the story was just great, and I loved Byaomon at the end, you know. It was pretty sweet. And they had the best intro. The Japanese intro, literally the best intro in just the biggest streamer. Holy crap. Having that on full blast at night sometimes is just amazing, especially when you're cooking or something. Just a great song. Like I said, look it up sometimes if you haven't seen it. Biggest streamer. It's sweet. And like I said, out of this, we got another one of my favorite Digimon that I always put on my team in games if I can, which is Gallantmon, you know, in Crimson mode, you know, always on my team if he's in the game, always, just because I loved him so much. He's just awesome, you know, love that Royal Knight. And if I had to rate this series, I give it an 8.5, you know, only because the movies weren't that great. Runaway Locomon was pretty decent, you know. The other one, not so much. I forget its name. It was that bad. But I still loved it, you know. It was my favorite. And then now we're going right into Digimon Frontier. Now this one I grew up. I have mixed feelings because me and my little sister watched this one a lot growing up when my granddad was alive at his house because it would come on at that time, and it was okay. I didn't care for the whole humans literally turning into the Digimon. Like if they fused with them, but it was literally they were the Digimon, and it was just confusing because they didn't actually have real Digimon to talk to you. It was literally they were the Digimon, so that was a turn off right there because I like them having real partners, and I hated the little helper. I forget his name, but those two little idiot helpers they had, I hated them so much. Oh my god, I hated them. They were so stupid. But the reason I didn't like Frontier as much was because they were weak. When I say weak, I mean they were the weakest Digimon team I've ever seen. When they fought those two Royal Knights, they lost literally like, I think, close to 89% the fights. Toward the end of the series, they couldn't stop them. And I know that they did it only because of plot reasons, but they lost so much, it became annoying. Because you knew when they showed up, they were going to lose. You know, and they got new forms. They got their mega forms, basically. And they still lost. It was embarrassing. Like, these guys are kicking your butts. You shouldn't lose this bad. And then the final villain, you know, Lucimon, you know, trying to sneak into the real world, that was never really I mean, he was pretty sweet as a Digimon. His sheer size and power, But by that point, I was just so turned off by them losing to the Royal Knights. I'm like, I know you're gonna pull a power grab out your butt, but still, if you lose to them, how you gonna beat this guy? And I mean, they did beat him, and they did resolve the whole, his one of the characters' brothers had a coma. He came back. That was sweet, but it was the whole weakness to the whole series. They were just not strong. The series was more of a personal growth, if anything. They didn't focus on Digimon, like I said. It was more the personal stories to all these characters. If I had to give this one a rating, I'd literally give it a 6, only because the memories I have watched it with my little sister. And the intro is kind of fun to sing to. The English one, I like singing to it sometimes. I actually sung to it before I was making this. Then the next series we're going to bump into is a little unique one. This one is Digimon Saviors. Savers, not saviors, savers, and it was kind of cool. Only reason is because if you want a good laugh, watch this series because the main character, he literally punches everybody. I mean, it's so over the top and stupid that it's funny because he will literally just run and smack a Mega in the face. I never did get that. It like added to his power. I think I forget I don't understand it, but he could literally punch a Mega and make him stumble back a little bit. But it was decent. Again, this was another series that started off at first having only like a few members, 3 members, and they got more over time. But it was pretty sweet. The Agumon was a little different. He was basically the skinny Agumon version that turns into the skinny Greymon, and then he got Greymon burst mode, shine Greymon, I believe, and it was pretty sweet. I did like his burst mode. It was pretty badass, and but besides that, it didn't really have any really deep tales. The story was better in this one because it was literally a deeper story. If you could understand that, like the plot was much deeper than previous seasons, and it was a little darker too. And when I say darker, I don't mean like a black. I mean, being, you know, that joke kind of didn't go the way I was hoping it would. I had to stop myself. Anyway, when I say a darker story, I'm talking about like there's deaths, there's villains that actually want to kill people, there's twisted motives, stuff like that. And this series had that in it, and it's pretty good. The movie I really did like. It was short, but it was sweet because Agumon got a girlfriend, as you see in this picture. That's Rhythm. That's Agumon's girlfriend. She's basically a human. She's basically a human. You know, that's what her description is. She's a Digimon that looks like a little human, pretty much. And we never saw her again. But at the end of the movie, she gave Agumon a little kiss in the snout. And you could kind of tell they were, I guess, going out. So that's kind of cute and weird. It didn't bother me as much because for me, I grew up on cartoons, like Gargoyles and Jessica Rabbit and stuff like that, where characters dated humans, so it didn't really bother me as much. It was kind of weird, but it's like, oh, I grew up on this, I can be fine. I mean, you got the TMNT, 4 turtles that had a crush on April O'Neil when I was growing up, so, they kind of toned that back in the new series. Not the new series, the TMNT series, the one in the 2000s, and then in the Nickelodeon version, they had the April romance again. But giving this one a rating, definitely at least look into it to see if you like it. I'd give it a 7. It's fun. It's a fun series. I liked it. But check it out for yourself. I think it was pretty sweet. And but there were no real forms in this series I cared for. It was just a story mostly. Like the forms were hit and miss. Well, I think you had Rosemon, and that was good, I guess. I like Rosemon. And then okay, and next on our list we're gonna jump. Like I said, we're just jumping. We're going to Xros Wars. Just gonna say it right off the top. Best Digimon ever. Holy crap. Shoutmon X7 Superior Mode. Holy crap! Because he's literally made out of every Digimon in the digital world. Like you see that little dust trail around him? Those are Digimon. That's not dust, that's Digimon. Um his sheer scope and power is it has to be pretty much at the top, if not the top, besides the main computer for the digital world. I forget how you pronounce it, starts with the Y. It's the main computer server. But basically he has to be the most powerful. And when he came on the scene and his sheer size, you know, I was just awestruck. I was like, holy crap, And this was another one of those series I thought was going to be stupid when it was first announced. And at first, it seemed pretty stupid, you know. It had that trope most animes have, where the first few episodes, the first 10, they're kind of boring and stupid. And you're like, why did they even make this? But by episode 20, 25, things kick in high gear, and you're like, I love this. This is that series right here. It is amazing. Wars 2 was great. Wars 1 was good. But still, the entire series was just awesome. I can't stress it enough. Give it a watch. Even if you just don't want to watch the series, at least watch on YouTube, type in X7 Superior Mode. Just watch his intro. Just watch his short fight. It is so awesome. You know, it's I can't explain it, how it sends a chill down your spine when you see him land, and he has that giant, microphone, which that's basically what it is, and you see all the Digimon coming from the digital world to form his wings and float around his body. I'm just like, holy crap, this is awesome, you know. And he gets the sword, I'm like, man. But definitely check it out. If I had to give this one a rating, again, it's a 7. Basically, okay, a 7.5. It's a little long, but it gets better. It starts out really slow. When I say slow, I mean slow, like Jamaican slow. When I try to say slow, I mean slow. And you gotta be the Jamaican bobsled team. That's what I'm trying to say. And but definitely just look at his form, if anything else. It's a pretty good series. The stories, ever since the third season, all Digimon stories kind of have darker elements. This one also has them, and it's a good thing. I know people like cheery, but sometimes darker stories are, I guess you could say, more mature stories as the story evolves, are a good thing, and that's what the Digimon series starts to do. This next one, I'm not as strongly ready to give an opinion to it yet. It's still fresh, but basically it's called Digimon Universe, or basically Appmon, where now the Digimon are basically apps, and it's a little confusing at first, but excuse me. I can't give a definite answer yet, just because I'm still watching it and it's still ongoing right now. But it's hasn't been bad. I will say that it has not been bad. It is so far it's been pretty good. The Digimon takes some getting used to. Their starter forms are some of the dumbest I've seen, but when they evolve, they're actually pretty neat. The series at the moment right now, it's starting to get to kind of a creepy, dark. It's getting to that creepy, dark storyline. Like I said, all Digimon series do it sorta, where they start off really cheerful and here's this small town villain, beat him up. Then right now it's getting to that part in the story where it gets to the darker plot right now, and I forget where I was going with that thoughts. Yeah, because I know one episode they actually had the guy torturing a Digimon, like he was literally shocking him and all kinds of stuff. I'd never seen Digimon where they actually torture him like that, but it's kind of sweet in a way too, because it's like, wow, they went there. They're actually showing a human torturing a Digimon to get information out of them. That's kind of neat. But like I said, I'm not ready to actually review or even give an opinion of it. Besides, I'm still watching it. Just from my perspective right now, it seems alright. It seems kind of cool. But I'm going to keep watching it till it's done. and then come back and say what I thought about it. But for right now, I'm enjoying it. It's actually on episode 40, and it's actually pretty cool. So yeah, give it a look if you want to. Wait, I said 40. I'm on 36. I looked at it 40's preview. I'm sorry. Yeah, give it a look. It's pretty good. And just the last little bit here, I'm just gonna tack on Digimon Try. And I'm not saying that Digimon Try is bad. It's just if it wasn't made, it would not have broke my heart. It's neat to see the old characters come back, and like I said, it's fun to see the mega forms of the other Digimon, because that is something I always wanted growing up, was to see the others get their mega forms. Because Greymon got his, Garurumon got his. Why didn't Kabuterimon get his mega form? I know they have them, because back then I collected the cards, and of course you saw what the mega forms were in the cards. Phoenixmon, and you had Mega Kabuterimon, Shrefrymon, but they never got them. But now they're bringing them back in this movie. Each movie is another mega form, so I'm like, oh, okay, I guess this is all right. But it was made more, I think, in my perspective, opinion, as I won't say a cash grab. I'll take that back. It's more of just nostalgia driven, because it was the first series, the anniversary. But it's just not that amazing. There's nothing about it that just says, "Oh, guys, go watch this right now." But the good thing is both old and new fans can watch it and enjoy it. But it's just nothing that's just extraordinary. The animation is a top notch. I'll give it that. The fights, like the first fight with Alphamon and Omnimon, that was awesome. That was pure awesome. I admit that was just awesome. But besides that, it's I give it a 7.7, maybe. Is that good? Can I do 7.7? Yeah, I do 7.7, close to an 8. If you want to round up. Like I said, it's fun to see the old Digimon get the mega forms, but there's nothing in it that really drives me to want to keep. That just says, I gotta see this every week. I watch it when I can. But that's my thoughts on the Digimon series, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I still got more to do, but I'll talk to you guys later.
Yeah.